Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy Creative, and I'm going to show you in Once Human how to build an impenetrable base. And our resonator back there, you can see for defense, it can't be touched. I'm going to show you the full setup, and then I'll show you how to kind of set it up this way so you can basically do anything you want whenever you want. So the first floor is essentially built out just a bunch of triangles. So the first floor is just 3 rings of triangles built all around each other to make the inside floor. Really easy, simple to build. Basically, this is our crafting floor, so it's going to have our workbenches, and this is set up a certain way, so I'll show you exactly why. Our workbenches, our synthesis bench, stove disassembler, our furnaces, and our wish machine. So the reason this is set up this particular way, and a lot of the floors are set up this way, is because if you can see, there's a gap over here, and there's a gap right here on the wall. Now, I at one point had my workbenches over here, and this is the reason why when you build your base, you're just gonna have to see kind of the best way to do it, because essentially I have a bunch of enemies when I call in my purification stuff that spawn over here in this corner. When they spawn in this corner, sometimes they freak out and don't know how to get over there on the other side of the base, so they'll attempt to go through this wall. The turrets that I set up here will take care of almost all of them, but in case they happen to get through that wall and get through here, they're not breaking any of my boxes here, and they're not going to break any of my workbenches right here to get through to get across to the resonator on the other side. So that's something to keep in mind to try and figure out where your enemies spawn, because if you put like your boxes or your workbench there, they can really kind of just destroy all of your stuff that costs a lot of stuff to make. So just keep that in mind. That's one of the things to think about. And also, since the kind of zombies are the first level, or the deviations are the first level of people that are going to break through your walls, I double layered this first wall, so that way to give me a little bit of time to give my turrets a bit of time to catch up, if in case there's just way too many of them, and that should kind of help them not just run through my base, right? Like super easy. So you can see the spiral staircases here in the middle. It goes up to the second floor, which is where I house all of my deviants. I house all of my deviants and run the electricity all the way around the outside, so I can attach it to any ones that are needed. And then I also put my boxes up here. Again, that way, because they can't actually get up here to the second floor, by not being able to get up here, I don't have to worry about them like destroying my boxes with all of my stuff in it that I've been saving ever since I've started playing the game. So again, deviants up here, storage containers up here, and the bed is up here. Obviously, you got to have a bed, that kind of thing. So then we just pop on out here. There's another little area, that way I can use it for like planting and stuff like that. And then if you jump up here to the third floor, essentially all that's up here right now is just our little pylon and switch for our electricity, so we can divvy it out to the rest of the place. And then when you come up here, there is our oil purifiers up here, as well as our water purifier. Then you can jump right up to the very top, and I built some stairs right here that you can just use your solar panels and your biomass generator up here to help get you a bunch of electricity, and it's right at the top, so you can basically push it out anywhere you need to go super fast. So we also have our rainwater collection system up here, so that way it can drain down into that and get purified automatically. Gives us enough purified water to last the entire time. So our biomass generator is powering a couple of these turrets. It's powering these 2 turrets right here on the side. It's also powering the 2 here in the front. Now, the good thing about this biomass generator, once you unlock it, is you can just put wood in here and have it fueled with like hardly any wood whatsoever for like 7 to 10 days off of like chopping down a couple trees. It's insane. So yeah, the turrets at the front, and then the turrets over here in the back. Now 2 of those. And now I'm going to show you kind of the side and how this OP base defense that I came up with kind of really works. So over here, we just have a small platform with our garages. And ideally, the way this defense works is there's one singular path to this area. So any enemies that walk can only get to this area via this one path, because it's set out in the water. Since it's out in the water like this far enough, they can't swim up to it and grapple up, so they have to run across here. Now, obviously, flying enemies can fly across, but again, the turrets and the amount of turrets and stuff I have take care of most of all of the enemies anyways, which allows me to focus on some of the flying enemies. Now, as the enemies are running up, again, they're hitting these gravitational traps and getting smacked by all these turrets, just because there's only one way they can go down. So all the bullets being shot down here are going to hit multiple enemies every single time. Now, the OP thing about this strat, right? And I don't know that I've seen anybody do this yet, but essentially I built it out so that way the resonator is in here. Why is that? In case enemies run across here, you have to worry about them breaking your resonator and causing a lot of damage to it. Now, when you do it this way, there's a sandbag, and I can essentially jump up here to actually put in my cores. And once I put them in, I can just drop down and begin to defend. Now, again, when enemies run up here, even if they fly, they can't actually get in here in these crevices. So basically, they can't destroy it. The only thing that can really worry about destroying it right off the bat is a gigantic boss that shoots the edge of the base. Now, the big thing about this is I use my Rust skills, if you've ever played Rust, to honeycomb this thing. So this thing essentially has a layer on the top and all around it on each side of concrete walls. So that way it doesn't just break through one layer and get here. It has to break through 2 layers of concrete walls, which is very, very difficult. So with the turrets and all of the defense set up this way, again, it makes it almost impossible to actually break through here. One thing you can actually do is, one thing I tested is get rid of one of these sections, essentially so that way you can just jump over it and defend from here. Now, you can do this, but when I did that initially, zombies and everything kind of just ran all over my base trying to destroy everything because they couldn't get over here to destroy that. So keep that in mind. You want to give them a pathway to run down, so that way they have a way to go, and the way you basically force them in a certain direction, so that way you can just, again, maul them with this kind of setup. So simple as that. All you have to do is find you an area, a piece of land that's kind of next to water, and you can build it partially out in the water. And this way you can get almost an indestructible resonator setup this way, as well as a pretty solid base setup, because they can't destroy much of anything. And again, because your stairs are like this and you have to jump over the stairs to get to these platforms, they're really not capable of being able to do that. So anything on your second, third, or fourth floors, for the most part, is pretty much safe. Now, the final last base tip or defense I want to give, for instance, cores to resonate or purify a bunch of them at once. Basically, one thing you'll want to do is get rid of these stairs. If you want, for the meantime, get rid of the door, because you just don't want them to have any really doorway to get through. And then you just block this off twice here with walls. Once you've blocked it off twice with walls like this, they're not going to be able to get in here whatsoever. And the only path they're going to be left with is the stairs, or jumping up here to be able to come across this bridge and just walk to their doom. So again, set up your base similar to that, or use those same principles of how this is kind of set up. And I'm telling you, your base will be impenetrable. And I think this is the best way, especially for a solo player, to build a base, to be able to do the cores on their own. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like the video if it helped you out, and subscribe if you're new. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.